36.
36.
18.
18.
And finally, 22.
Whoa!
We all love the lottery, don't we? Well, I don't, to be honest, but you might. Anyway, we will be using this video today, and the title of the video is called If the Lottery Was Honest. Honest ads. Now, I'll be totally honest with you because I'm British. I have a preference for British humor, but this is the kind of American humor that I find very funny, partly because it reveals the kind of society that we live in. So we will be using this video, and what we'll do, we'll watch a section of it. I will stop it. I will ask a question, and that question will refer to what's coming next. So you've got to listen out for the answer of the question. Then I will stop it after and give you the answer and maybe add a couple of points to it. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started.
Look at this man. He looks happier than you've been in weeks. All of his dreams are about to come true because he was brave and took a fair...
Right, first question. What is he taking a fair shot at?
Because he was brave and took a fair shot at the American dream by playing...
He's taking a shot at the American dream. And I stopped it a little bit early by playing the lottery. So pay $5, win potentially $10 million. And he's going to say, could be you, but statistically speaking, do you have a chance?
Playing the lottery. Makes you think, huh? This could be you. Though statistically speaking, it won't be.
No, you won't have a chance. Statistically speaking, almost zero chance.
I'm Roger, and I'm here to tell you about my Power Sphere Lottery, an exciting way to potentially win lots of money by spending what seems like a small amount that will in fact grow.
Okay, so when people pay the lottery, what are people not thinking about?
Quite dramatically over time, but you're not thinking about what playing the lottery for 20 years costs, right?
Yeah, so people are not thinking about the long-term costs. They think it's a one-off cost, even if they play every week. With some people, maybe they play it every day, but they're only thinking of one cost at a time. But this cost builds up tremendously over time.
You're thinking about how spending $5 today could make you $10 million tomorrow. Yes! Please keep thinking that. It seems simple. All you have to do is pick a couple of random numbers, the birthdays of your loved ones perhaps, or maybe just your favorites, and tell them to a sad convenience store employee. 696969. That's it. That's the game.
If you play the lottery, what else would have the same effect on your paycheck?
You just played a game. But if it seems too hard, just take your paycheck and plot it into a nearby shredder. It has about the same effect. Well, we'd like...
Okay, so what would have the same effect? It would be taking your paycheck and put it into a shredder. So a shredder will... So that would have the same effect on your paycheck as playing the lottery.
I'd like you to believe that the only thing preventing you from becoming a billionaire and following your dreams is owning this scrap of paper.
In reality, what is 5 times more, not 5 times, sorry, what is 5,000 times more likely to happen to you?
In reality, you're 5,000 times more likely to get hit by lightning. And
yes, so you're 5,000 times more likely to be hit by lightning from a thunderstorm. 5,000 times. Also, in reality, what is 8,000 times more likely to happen to you?
And 8,000 times more likely to be murdered. Neat, huh?
8,000 times more likely to be murdered. Do you know anyone who's been murdered? Admittedly, this is the USA. They have high murder rates. I don't know how much higher the murder rates in the US are compared to Europe or compared to Asia. but they are higher. Let's say they're 10 times higher. I'm pretty sure they're not as high as that, but that would still mean if you lived in a country which had murder rate 10 times lower than the US, you're still 800 times more likely to be murdered than to win the lottery. That is incredible.
I don't know, is it neat to find out I'm more likely to be murdered than win lots of money?
Fun question. Anyway, we like to...
Okay, selling the American dream. Why do they call it that?
Fun question. Anyway, we like to say that we're selling you the American dream because that tested better in focus groups than calling it a tax on the poor, which is...
Okay, so they called it selling the American dream because it tested better in research groups or audience groups than calling it a tax on the poor. And in reality, it is a tax on the poor.
Essentially, it is, you see.
So this one has two answers. How do they target the poor?
We actively target lower income households who have no other way to climb out of poverty. We carefully choose what types of programming we advertise on and place higher concentrations of ticket vendors in lower economics neighborhoods. That's why the
first way they target poor people is by advertising on programs that poor people are known to watch. And the second way they target poor people is by having more vendors, sellers, more vendors in low-income areas. So if you live in a low-income area, you will see a lottery vendor much more often than if you live in a rich neighborhood.
The average low-income households.
And what percent of their paycheck or their income do low-income households spend on the lottery?
That's why the average low-income household spends almost 9% of their savings on these beautiful slips of paper.
So they spend a total of 9% on the lottery, which is a huge amount. Okay, so that was a bit of a mixture of questions. I hope the questions help you understand the humor and the content of the video. So if you want to see the whole video, if the lottery was honest, I think it's very funny myself. If you want to see the whole video, he has a whole series about if ads were truthful. But for this one, if the lottery was honest, I'll put a link down below. Also, I want to ask you, do you play the lottery? If so, how much money do you spend on a weekly basis? And after watching this, will you continue to spend money on the lottery?